What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two for Two, your sports podcast for the culture by the voices of the culture. As always, I'm your host, Quis. I'm here with my co-host, Nell, and we're back with another episode for y'all today. We're going to dive right into the NFL, recap that. We're going to recap the beginning of the NBA in-season tournament bracket play, and a whole lot more. So sit back, enjoy the show, man. Season 3, episode 18. Let's get it. Nell, I see you here, CD Lamb'd up. Coming off another
88, baby.
Cowboys win. You know, we went 2 for 2 this weekend. It's been a while. My boys hadn't been holding up their end of the bargain. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have officially got back in the win column. Cowboys in the win column. A big week for both teams coming up now. But we'll get into that later. But for now, how you doing, my brother?
Feeling good, man. Good to be here. Good to talk sports, man. It's a big week. Cowboys Eagles week, man. So I'm excited.
Yeah, man. It's a big week around the NFL, but especially a big week in the NFC East where we got two teams that are facing off for first, right? Am I this for first?
I mean, I think the Eagles would still have the tiebreaker, but maybe
They
tied.
tie y'all across, tie y'all at the top of the first. And so, I mean, hey, we gonna jump right into it now. The Eagles, we just talked about them. They faced your Cowboys this week, coming off of their off of a crazy loss against the San Francisco 49ers with a whopping score of 42-19. Eagles early on seemed like they had control, but offensive play calling wasn't very good. Didn't establish the run at all. I think DeAndre Swift had 6 carries. I think I saw Jalen Hurts drop back like 48 times, banged up in that game, thought he had a concussion. But the 49ers, man, they did whatever they wanted to do against the Philadelphia Eagles this week now. And I have to ask, I mean, I think they are, but does this game make the 49ers the favorites?
Yeah, I think so. I mean that's how this works, right? I mean, if you got two teams that you think are fighting to be the best team in the conference, and that team like the 49ers, I mean, not even just beating the Eagles, but beating them down in the fashion that they did and on the road. I mean, you certainly got to look at them as favorites right now in the NFC. So, we talked about this, when we did our preseason stuff. We thought the 49ers was the most talented team in the conference by far. Question mark was just Brock Purdy. We only seen him for 10 or so games. We didn't know if he was really that guy yet. I mean, jury's still out, but I mean, he's playing good enough. I mean, he's right there in the MVP race. Like he could easily win the MVP trophy, which is crazy for a 7th-round pick. But he's balling right now. So you gotta have the 49ers as your favorites.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I was arguing with an Eagles friend of mine, DC actually. And I was saying, I was like, the 49ers have to be considered the best team in the NFL now. Like, doesn't mean that the Eagles can't win the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean another team can't win the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean if these two teams play in the playoffs, that the Eagles won't win. But I mean, if you think about in the NFC, who do we always say was 1 and 2? The Niners and the Eagles. We got to see it right then and there. So boom, the winner of this game has to be considered the favorite out of the two. I mean, I think it's pretty simple math. And I mean, now with that loss and how well your Cowboys are playing, now we have another discussion with this week with y'all, which we'll get into later. Are the Cowboys up there in that upper echelon with these two teams? We'll have to see. But for the 49ers and the Eagles case, it's like, I mean, what else are the 49ers supposed to do? You play who's in front of you. They came up. I told you they were fully healthy. We would have to see how this team looked fully healthy. We talked about it. We didn't give up on them now like we gave up on the Bengals, like we gave on some other teams. We didn't give up on the 49ers. But we said Brock Purdy, when he gets his weapons, looks way better. And his weapons did just that. I mean, Deebo Samuel, big game. Chris McCaffrey does what he does. George Kittle, not many catches, but I think he had about 40, 50, 60 yards. Like, pretty good game. Brandon Ayuk, good game. The defense stepped up, made it really hard for the Eagles to get going. A.J. Brown played well. But, I mean, you got blown out. And we knew the Niners were going to come out to try to really make a statement in this game. I mean, that's what you would expect. I'm sure that the Eagles had plans of doing the same thing. But at the end of the day, only one team can win. And you got to that point of the fashion that they won in. I mean, there's not really much you can say. Some teams have a bad game, but they picked a bad day to have a bad game. And so the the Niners had to be the favorites in the NFC, and to me, they had to be the favorites in the entire NFL because we're about to move into now, looking at the AFC, like who over there is even, can we be like, yeah, flat out, they're gonna come out the AFC. We talked about the Ravens, we talked about the Chiefs, we tried to talk about the Bengals before Burrow went down again. Um, the Dolphins are up there too, but right now the Niners just look head and shoulders better than every team in the NFL. You can beat up on a team like the Eagles that we had talked about being the best team in the league. You beat up on them like that. I mean, you
Beat up
earn
on the
that.
Cowboys like that too.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
you
they
yeah,
beat
they
up on the
exactly.
top two teams
Exactly. Whenever the Niners
in
have
the
played a good
conference.
team, they haven't just beat them, but they beat up on them. So it just shows right now that the Niners are at a different level, and that's not us saying that the Niners will win the Super Bowl. That's just saying right now what they've shown on paper is that when they go up against a team that is supposed to be, a measuring stick, they show that they're the better team. So right now, we rock with the 49ers as the best team in the NFL right now for me. I think they're the favorites. Like you said, you touched on a point that's going to ruffle some feathers with that Brock Purdy MVP. Last week we were talking about it hurts the MVP, and we were giving him the edge. But then the NFL is a week to week league, so that's one of those things that when people get upset and they're like, "How can you say this after that week?" Like this week they showed this, and that's just what it is. So, hey, shout out to the Niners. They
I
look,
mean, look, I'm not feeling a Brock Purdy MVP, but
yeah,
like
no, I don't,
that's just word on the street. But
yeah, no, word on the street is Brock Purdy up there he's now the betting favorite, is what they say.
it would I mean to me if Brock Purdy won MVP, it would kind of be like Jokic winning MVP. It would just kind of feel like an embarrassment to the league, in my opinion. And
I mean, in theory, it would be one of those situations, kind of like Jokic, where it's like, all right, if his team's going to be one of the best teams in the league every year, and he's going to be able to consistently put up the numbers that he does because of how it all works. I mean, it's going to be hard. You might as well give him MVP every year, right? Like they're going to win a good amount of games. He's not going to turn the ball over. His numbers will be inflated. I mean, but hey, I don't think he's going to win MVP. Jalen Hurts is still, hopefully, my favorite. Hopefully, he can get it because that's why I picked at the start of the year. But now it's time for you to do something publicly, man. We talked about the AFC a little bit, and I'm gonna move into that direction for you. Move into that direction. The Green Bay Packers upset on Sunday night the Kansas City Chiefs and the Grim Reaper Pat Mahomes. First, I was right about Jordan Love. In the last 3 weeks, he's won 3 games. In the last 3 weeks, he's looked pretty good. Can we agree?
looked okay, sure.
No.
He's looked okay. Like, what are we talking about here?
He looks pretty good now.
He ain't
Jordan
lighting
Love
it
is
up.
Jordan Love looks pretty good. We're not gonna waste too much time on Jordan Love. I want Nell to apologize. He's not gonna give us the apology yet. Jordan Love, the jury's still out, I guess. If we're gonna still have the jury out on Brock Purdy, we can keep the jury out on Jordan Love. But this isn't so much about the Packers and what they did. It's more about the Chiefs. I know a couple weeks ago we talked about um at what point in time do we look at a team and we say this loss is concerning. So my first question for you now is, are we concerned about the Kansas City Chiefs now? It's been a couple weeks in a row now where we looking and we like, what's going on? Pat with an untimely turnover. We say, in the playoffs, he won't do that. We give him that pass. But we can't always give teams a pass. We can't always give the Legends a pass. Sometimes we got to take it for what it is. So first question now is, are we worried about the Chiefs? And secondly, what team in the AFC can we trust at this point? Because everybody seems to be letting us down week in and week out.
I mean, I guess like I'm a little concerned about the Chiefs. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like the AFC is just wide open. So I mean, it really is just going to come down to who's playing their best football. Going into January, going into the playoffs. Obviously, it's been concerning. The lack of weapons and miscommunications. Mahomes has had with his receivers this year, and when him and Kelsey, aren't throwing touchdowns to each other. It's a tough day for them when he has to rely on his outside receivers. So I mean, but he's not the only one with questionable weapons. In the AFC. Lamar Jackson, losing Mark Andrews for the season, that's a big loss for them. Obviously, the Dolphins have a lot of weapons, but can they win on the road against a quality team? They've yet to prove that. So I think we're just gonna have to buckle up and just enjoy the ride that is the AFC playoff picture, because it's literally anyone's guess. I mean, and like the Chiefs will get all the love by default just because of Mahomes and his resume and obviously what he's proven in the playoffs compared to the rest of the competition. So I'm worried about them because I just think the lack of weapons is going to come back to bite them. But at the end of the day, it might not end up coming back to bite them because, other teams have flaws too. So, every team in the AFC is flawed. So, it'll really just come down to who's playing their best football going into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna, like we said, that week to week league is gonna be what really all it is. On that week, any given Sunday or Saturday, the playoffs, they get a little weird. Um, but whatever it is, it's gonna come down to who plays better that day when it comes to the AFC. Like you said, Lamar is down weapons, Pat Mahomes is down weapons. The Dolphins haven't done it against a great team. Now they play somebody bad, they're gonna run it up on you. It should be studied how well they play against teams that are just below 500, just pure flat out annihilation. But I mean, there's also other teams that we talked about that might slip into the AFC and make some noise. But now we got the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is down, right? Got a high ankle sprain, they said. The way it looked, I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to be for him to recover. I don't know how long or how he'll look, should he come back. I mean, the Texans, that's another team that, are they really ready to win? They lost Tank Dell. That's going to be something that they have to overcome. So the AFC is just all beat up right now. It looks like it's going to come down to whoever's the healthiest team at the end of the day. Right now, that's the Dolphins. Can they win a meaningful game? We'll have to see. But the NFC right
They
now,
they got a nice little tough schedule to in the season.
yeah.
They played Dallas, Baltimore, Buffalo. So
So we'll find out quick. We'll
we'll
find out
find
real
out a
quick.
little bit about them.
Yeah. So this last stretch of the NFL season, man, is gonna get real interesting. Was it week 14? Um, or is it 13, 14? So
14.
yeah, week 14. So we got, what, 4 weeks left, 4 games. It's all out there. Is it 4 games or 3 games? Am I tripping? I think it's four. Might be 4 games, if I know that.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me see. The
So either way,
Cowboys got Eagles, Lions.
yeah. Don't you play the Giants again? I think it's 4 weeks left. Because it's what? You can be 8 and 9, so that's 17, so it's 18 weeks. Yeah, we got 4 weeks left of the NFL season. So, we'll have to see how it goes down this final stretch, man. This is that time when you hope that your team is as healthy as it can be, and you just gotta win games. Everybody's banged up, everybody's nicked up. What your team is, what it is on film at this point. So it's a matter of being able to adjust and make it count. So we'll see who comes to the AFC. Right now, we see the 49ers are the top dogs in the NFC. And the AFC is up for grabs, as we said. So we will have to really monitor that moving forward. But the Chiefs, tough loss to the Packers, man. Big win for Jordan Love and the boys. Another win without Aaron Jones for the Packers. So they're trying to creep up into that NFC playoff race as well, even though I think it's safe to say the NFC is a 3-man race pretty comfortably, including your Cowboys. Now I'm throwing them in there. So we're going to see. On the other side of things, man, the in-season tournament knockout stage began last night, featuring the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics. Also had the Pelicans and the Kings play. The last 2 games will go on today, so we won't be able to discuss those until after. We basically won't discuss the in-season tournament again until the next week when we've already crowned a champion. So looking at last night, now we had the Indiana Pacers, the young, upstarting Pacers, led by Tyrese Haliburton, who I publicly hated on, and I'm publicly apologizing again. Dog, absolute dog. They beat the Celtics, man. Granted, the Celtics didn't have Kristaps Porzingis, but I mean, at the end of the day, JT, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Sam Hauser, and the boys, Derek White, they went in, they played the Pacers, and they lost. What are your thoughts on the Pacers and the Celtics game now? And talk to me a little bit about Tyrese Haliburton, because I know that you're a big fan. I know some of our fans probably are aware of who he is, but we know we have some fans who don't follow as in depth, and he's a young upcoming name. So I want you to go ahead and introduce the world to Tyrese Haliburton as well for us now.
Yeah, yeah. Let me introduce y'all to the best pure point guard in the league right now. But yeah, like you said, a young up and coming superstar, and I think that was like only his second national TV game. So I mean,
When
like,
is he had a triple double, right? First triple double of his
yeah,
career.
first triple double of his career. So like, one might say a star was born in the in season tournament. So I mean, that's a good thing for the league. Seeing a small market team, kind of have the buzz around this, first in season tournament. So I mean, it was a really fun game, nice back and forth. 4 point play, towards the end of the game, that was insane. So he's really just putting on a show in Indiana. The way they play is just so fun to watch. It's they're up and down. It was funny hearing them talk about defense after the game when they haven't played a look at defense all season. But this was a very competitive game. So you could see that it had different energy than we usually see in December games in the NBA. So I was skeptical about the in-season tournament, when they first started talking about it and coming into the season, but so far I'm definitely a fan of it.
Yeah, no, it was super dope, man. It had playoff energy to it. Like it was really like intense. The Celtics were trying to win that game. All they're talking about the whole game is you got to play defense, got to play defense. Because like you said, the Pacers get up and down. They got a group of young guys led by Halliburton. You got Benedict Mathurin off the bench, the rookie that they drafted 2 years ago now. Buddy Hield, the sharpshooter. Obi Toppin, the young guy, former Nick, that just likes to get up and down, run the floor. Miles Turner, as well. They bring in some guys off the bench and they just run and they just run and they run. And it gives them a lot of opportunities to win games because they just get so many shots. Like they just shoot the ball at a very high clip. Buddy Hield's a great shooter. Tyrese Haliburton has improved his jump shot tremendously to be way more efficient, way more consistent. It's not a beautiful jump shot, but it goes in.
50,
You
40,
know,
90. I mean,
yeah,
look,
he hit about what 4 or 5 threes last night, just last night. Like we said, he had a triple double, and that team just looks so much better with the ball in his hands. Now, I was texting you mid game, because I'm watching early and they're falling down. I'm like, why is Buddy Hield bringing the ball up? Benedict Mathurin bringing the ball up. Like, it got to the point you could see Tyrese Haliburton is like actively like running to the ball, like clapping, like, yo, give me the ball. Because when he has the ball in his hands, I think they have like an 85% chance of scoring, whether he's gonna score or whether he's assisting. He's really that special. You said it, best pure point guard in the league, and I agree with you. I mean, he's not. Is he the best player? No. Is he the best player at the point guard position? Probably not. But from a pure, I run this offense, I get it out in transition, I kick ahead. You know, People run the floor. I hit a trail guy. I come off a drag action, take the screen and run. Like, I mean, when the guy has the
preach.
ball, they just look so much better. Um, and that's me, that's coming from me who tried to argue Jalen Brunson for a little bit. So, hey, the Pacers are exciting to watch, man. I think I saw a tweet. It was like they got like 5 guys making less than 3 mil on their team right now in terms of their contract. So like that $500,000 incentive really
They
means something.
hungry for it.
You know what I'm saying? They want to win that. They want to win this. They want to win this game. So or this tournament. So they moving on to the next round. They'll get the winner of my Knicks versus the Bucs tonight. But on the other side now,
So they'll get the Bucs, most
all right,
likely.
you see how I avoided that and you forced it? Like,
I'm
um,
just saying, I was just giving my opinion. That's what we on here for. So I'm like,
unfortunately, that wasn't a part of the episode. We weren't
my fault.
reviewing
Oh, my
that.
bad. My
Yeah,
bad.
we weren't previewing how that game was gonna go.
I
So
thought that's why you brought it up. My fault.
no. I just said we won't be able to talk about it. So there's no point in us even previewing it. Like, make your own preview, keep it to yourself. You post it on the all right.
Got you.
It's
My bad.
gotta be off schedule. Come on. Is your team playing?
All right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. I thought we got on here preview the in-season tournament. And I said that I thought y'all would be playing. And y'all didn't even make it. But
We
my
were
team.
we worried about something bigger, man.
Right. Julius Randle has been on the tear, by the way. The
Is
last,
he?
yeah, I'll send you the stats after the episode.
You don't need to.
Okay, you can look it up. 25, 13, and like 8. Pretty damn good. And I don't even like the guy like that. But on the other side of the tournament, man, out west, we had another good game. Another game featuring young stars, man. The NBA has a lot of young stars, man. The New Orleans Pelicans defeated the Sacramento Kings, the Like the Beam All Stars from last year, man. Now, we talked about it earlier or in the preview when we talked about the NBA. We were talking about how good the Pelicans were with Zion Williamson before he got hurt last year. They were top 3 in the West. People were sleeping on him. Now we get to see it. He's been playing, even though he didn't have his best game last night, they still pulled it off. B.I. had a great game. Jonas Valanciunas, great game. CJ McCollum contributed, thank God. But how good is this Pelicans team, man? When they're at full strength, Trey Murphy, another guy off the bench that really makes them go. Jose Alvarado, another guy off the bench that really makes them go as well. And they're at full strength now. How good can this Pelicans team be? Are they top 3 in the West again?
I don't know about top 3, but I mean they're a pretty good team. Like you named all those guys. They're definitely one of the deepest teams in the West. Uh, Zion only had 10 points, but Bi with 30, like you said, Valanciunas, McCollum chipped in. Like they got a bunch of guys that can help. Alvarado. I mean, Jordan Hawkins, I think is having a fantastic, rookie season. He's been big for them when a bunch of guys were in and out the lineup. And I mean, he couldn't even get on the court last night. He's averaging 13 a game. I mean, that's just, how good their bench is. So, I mean, obviously Zion, he's a freak of nature, having him scoring 10 points isn't going to happen often. So
Right.
when he gets back to, putting up the numbers that we normally see, they're definitely a dangerous team. It's only the second game all season they've had Zion, Ingram, McCollum, and Trey Murphy all in the lineup. So obviously we've barely seen them at full strength, and obviously we see what they're capable of when they're fully healthy because they got a bunch of guys. They're well coached and they play hard. So they're a really good team. It's going to be an interesting game between whoever wins that Lakers Suns game.
Oh yeah, and you got to something, or you kind of get into something that I was just thinking about over here. Is like these young teams, like the Pelicans, like the Kings, like the Pacers. They get up and down, man. They get a lot of possessions. They shoot a lot of threes. Like we've seen in the league where you got teams like the Lakers, teams like the Celtics that want to slow it down a little bit. The Lakers with having LeBron and AD, they come down, they don't play as fast. They got older guys on the floor. Even the Warriors team now, they don't play as fast as they once did. It's going to be harder for these teams with these big name superstars that we're used to, that everybody knows, the Kevin Durant's, the LeBron, Steph Curry's, all those guys. It's going to be harder for those teams to hold up against these young teams because the pace, right? The pace of the pace of the NBA is getting up, is increasing anyway. You see, we got guys like Wemby coming in, running the floor at 7'6". Like it's getting sick in the NBA. But what I wanted to ask you now is, with looking at this, man, we got the Pacers and the Pelicans, 2 teams that the casual fan would probably be like, are they good? Like last time I heard about them, are they good? Like, what are the implications of this tournament? Say the Pacers go on and win this. Say the Pelicans go on and win this as well, or not as well. One of them 2 teams win it, for example. Like, do we look at those teams differently when it comes to like winning a playoff series? Like, do we say, oh, the Pacers won the in-season tournament? Are they actually a contender to win the championship? Like, how do you feel?
Nah, nah, not nah. Nah, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's one game. It's
Yeah,
these one knockout games. If they play Boston in a 7-game series,
right, right.
Boston, Boston's going to win 4 games. No matter how many games it takes to get there, the better team is usually going to win in the best of 7. I mean, obviously, when you got one game, anything can happen, and
You
you
may get your
know,
first double, and it's like, well, shit. Like,
stuff like that happens. So I don't think it'll necessarily change playoff perception, but uh, just having these different teams, not your usual big markets, uh, in these kind of spotlights, putting a spotlight on different kind of stars, like De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Haliburton. So, to see them kind of get a shine on, some small market teams, that's a good thing for the tournament too. So,
yeah, man. Yeah. I think that's part of what the thinking was, right? You shine a spotlight on a team that you don't normally get to see. You make games that are traditionally less meaningful more meaningful. At the end of the day, like you said it, Tyrese Haliburton's played on national television maybe twice.
Yeah, when's the last time the
Now,
Pacers had a meaningful game?
you know what I'm saying? But it's like, at the end of the day, like whether that game meant something or not, like in season tournament, now you saw how good the Pacers can be. Like you watch a budding star, everybody everybody got to see it, and I think that's what's most important. That's what's good for teams like the Pacers, small market teams like the Pelicans, teams like the Kings. Like we always see the Celtics play, we always see LeBron play, whether we want to watch him play or not. We always see the Warriors get to play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like finally we get a tournament where it's not the same. Oh, Friday we're gonna watch Giannis play LeBron. Tuesday we're gonna see Luka play Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? And that's great. And that's the beauty of it all because the NBA has so many young stars, so many teams that we see drafting in the top 10 year in and year out. Like they have some guys that's fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? You just they gotta have that opportunity. And so that's something that I'm glad that we got with the in-season tournament. In-season tournament, man, has truly been a success. Like we came on here, we weren't sure what to expect, but so far so good. The Pacers punched their ticket to Las Vegas. The Pelicans punched their ticket to Las Vegas, and tonight we got the Knicks versus the Bucs, followed by the Suns versus the Lakers, which 2 games featuring some pretty good guys. This slate's a little bit more of a steady crop of guys that we're all familiar with for the most part. We got Giannis, LeBron, AD, D-Book, Kevin Durant, Jalen Brunson.
I knew you was about to say that. Yeah, you're crazy.
So I'll let you pick, man. I'll let you say it because on Thursday when this drop, you might be wrong, and I want to know who you got tonight, man. Bucks, Knicks, and Lakers, Suns. Who you got advancing to the next round?
I'm gonna take the Bucs, of course. That's easy. Is D-Book playing?
Yeah.
Somebody always out for the Suns.
Only person that's not playing is Beal.
I think I'm a rock with the Suns. I think I'm a rock with the Suns.
I like that pick. I don't like the first pick. I like that pick. I'm not gonna pick it. I'm not gonna pick anybody. I just host the thing. I'll let you talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock. But hopefully one of your picks is correct and it's not gonna be the Bucks because they beat us once. They're not gonna get us twice. Got it? Oh, I forgot about Dame. I didn't even say Dame. Dame playing too.
Yeah. So
I could have put him in there when I said Brunson, but I didn't. But that's all right. So we're gonna see, man. Y'all keep up with the in-season tournament. It's gonna be fun. Some fun games coming up tonight. And we'll get back to you guys, man, before Saturday. We're gonna have to drop something there before Saturday so we can, preview the championship when it gets to that point. But on the NFL side, man, like we said earlier, we got some big games coming up this week, a lot of playoff implications. At this point in the NFL season now, every game really, really matters. And we got 3, I'm going to say big ones. I can't say good ones because my team is involved in this 3. All right, well, I'm going to say big ones. 3 meaningful games, all right? So we got my Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. This game is similar to your Eagles and Cowboys situation on your side where should the Buccaneers beat the Falcons, we'll be tied for first in the NFC South. The Falcons will own the tiebreaker, of course, but nonetheless an important game. We got the Bills, a team that is fighting for their playoff lives against the Chiefs coming off of a loss. Another opportunity where this game specifically changed the landscape of the NFL at one point in time. Right now, they changed the overtime rules off of the last time these 2 teams faced off. Or it wasn't the last time they played against since then, maybe. But
yeah, they played last season.
Yeah, but nevertheless, a big game every time these 2 teams face off. 2 quarterbacks that, we like to argue. I said it. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. How's that gonna go? 2 teams, offenses should be electric, right? And then we finish it off with your Cowboys, versus the Philadelphia Eagles coming off of their second loss of the season. Is it a second loss?
Yeah.
Yeah, their second loss of the season. That was an embarrassing fashion now. So looking at the Bucs and the Falcons, man, Mike Evans secured his 10th consecutive 1,000-yard season. Shout out to Big Mike, man. Hope he stays the Buck for life. Versus the Atlanta Falcons, they're hot right now. They got a good defense. Jesse Bates is leading those guys. But they got Desmond Ridder at quarterback. Last time these two teams faced off, the Buccaneers lost off a game-winning field goal by the Falcons. Let Desmond Ridder throw for 300 yards, and he proceeded to get benched the next week. Where are you leaning in this one now? I know you're not going to say nothing good, but I put on the Tom Brady jersey for this occasion, joyous occasion, because we about to get back to our winning ways. So I'm telling you, the Bucs are going to win this one. But now, where are you going with this one, man?
I got a sneaky feeling the Bucs will win, but like
I like that. I
I
like
don't
that.
know.
Like,
They've given up. Their run defense has been pretty bad the last
all right.
couple games.
So let's put the caveat out there. Levante David did not play the last 2 weeks. Devin White did not play last week, and I don't even like Devin White. We were down our third inside linebacker, Savasi Dennis, the rookie, got hurt, didn't play this past week either. And then our fourth middle linebacker got hurt in the first series of the game. So we played a practice squad linebacker and rotated safeties in that linebacker last week. So talking about the run game, let's just put that out there. But go ahead.
Are those dudes going to be back this Sunday?
Uh, I would think one or both of Devin White and Levante will be back. Levante had a hamstring, so he missed his 2 weeks. He should be back.
Look,
Devin just his pride hurt, but he should be back too.
it ain't been great. That's all I'm saying. Let's just put it like that. So
That's
we
fine.
know the Falcons don't do anything else but anything well but run the football. So
The
I
last time we
think
played, we didn't get about a Bijan, and they give it to Bijan now. So we're gonna see.
you're right. We are going to see. So I think if the Falcons can run the ball, like dominate on the ground, I think the Falcons could win it. But I don't know. I feel like Baker. This might be one of them weeks Baker just start baking.
I hope so, because
Because
boy,
I mean, this division is just like so weird. I would be shocked if Atlanta just ran away with it.
yeah,
So I feel like we got a bit more drama on our hands before we find out who wins the dreaded NFC South.
man. I'm gonna let you have this because I used to bag on the NFC East. That when I was the NFC least, me and Walt was running the pod off y'all every week.
Look, man,
So I'm gonna
every division has them.
yeah, it happens, man. It's a year to year thing, man. You never know. One thing goes wrong and then everybody just go, terrible. But I mean, I'm not mad at that synopsis. I can take that. I hope so, because I don't know how many times this past weekend I've typed in my phone, I'm about done with Baker and deleted it. But it happened at least 3 times just in that game against the Panthers. So but hey, I hope my Bucks win, man. It's gonna be a good one. It'll be for the, like I said, for a division lead. Todd Bowles coaching for his career at this point. So hopefully we get the guys back and we can get some get back. Usually in divisions like this, teams tend to split a lot. Falcons won one, so Bucks will probably win one. Let's hope, man. Let's hope. I mean, shoot, ain't nothing else I can really say about the Bucks. They're not too exciting. I'm not in the business of just drowning y'all with Bucks knowledge because I know y'all don't care. So we're gonna move on to the games that y'all care about, man. But I appreciate we had to throw that in there. Now that was really kind of you to want that in there for
I
this
had to,
weekend.
I had to let you get something off. I
You know what I'm saying?
mean,
When I looked, I was like, oh, my boy rocking with us. Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But we got the Bills and the Chiefs, man. A game that has a little more flair, a little more bells and whistles as we get closer to Christmas time. A game that has a lot of implications. If the Bills lose this one, they done, right?
probably I don't know mathematically, but probably 6 and 7. It'd be tough to get him. Probably gonna need at least 9 or 10 to get a wild card. Most likely 10. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. So where you going? Where's your head at with this one? Do you think Patton will bounce back? Is Josh Allen gonna make a statement? I mean, they haven't played great against great competition either. But the Chiefs, I mean, they look beatable this year. That's right now that's the main thing that I saw. I saw one thing that I was a little shocked by was the way that the Packers were able to run the ball on them this past week. Um, that run defense for the Chiefs, the defense period has been their calling card this year, while Pat and the guys have been working through the kinks. But they didn't look too hot against Jordan Love. So which way are you leaning? You going Bills this week or what you got?
I think I gotta go with the Chiefs. I don't know. It's hard to see Patty losing twice in a row. It's gonna be a tough one. The Bills gonna be pretty much fighting for their season. Defense got a bunch of injuries. It really just comes down to, I mean, Josh Allen the game against Philly, I mean, he did all that he could to try to get his team a win. He's gonna have to play like that and more if he's gonna outdo Mahomes. But then again, are Mahomes' weapons going to come to play? Are they going to be able to make plays on the outside? Even though the Bills' defense is struggling, you're going to catch the rock when it's thrown to you. Yeah. So we'll see. I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna rock with the Chiefs though, because like I said, I mean, I don't think Patty's going to lose two in a row, but Bills going to be fighting for their lives. They should be hungry. I mean, they played as well as they played all season in that game against Philadelphia. And, just got a couple plays here and there get away from you that cost you the game. So we'll see if they can execute better this week against the Chiefs. If they can, they certainly got a chance.
yeah, they need to. And I think, like you said, it comes down to execution. If the Bills can do that, they got a shot, But both of these quarterbacks in the past couple of weeks have shown something that I said Pat Mahomes doesn't normally do is they might make that play where it's like, why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? And I think this game is going to come down to which quarterback does that first, and or which quarterback does it the most. Because I could also see one of these games where Pat throw a mulligan and then John say, "Here you go, I get it right back to you." You know what I'm saying? So whichever quarterback doesn't turn the ball over will probably win this game. I don't actually see.
Bills coming off a bye too. So I
Yeah,
mean
they
that's
should be fresher.
fresh. Yeah.
Well, more fresh. I think fresh is a word. But at the end of the day, coming off that bye, it can be good or bad. So, the Chiefs got something to prove. I think they got to keep getting the run game going. I want to see them lean more into the run game. I think Isaiah Pacheco is a pretty good back. I don't like when they put Clyde Edwards-Helaire in there. That gets kind of under my skin. I'm like, bro, just let it go. Like, we know that was a draft pick you missed on. Like, just let it go. Like, it's all right. He cool, but let it go. But I think the Chiefs also get this one. I don't see Pat losing two in a row. Over this side, I don't. If Pat playing, I'm giving them a shot. And I know they know what this means. And shoot, you can beat the Bills and potentially take them out of your way to a Super Bowl. Yeah, you got to win this game. So I'm going Chiefs too. We're gonna see if we can go 2 for 2 on that. So far, man, we 2 for 2. You pick the Bucs and you pick the Chiefs. Don't forget that. I hope there's not that
I'm
little
rocking. I'm rocking with you this
reverse
week.
psychology that you like to do, man.
Nah,
You've been
nah.
you've been real spotty with that one this year. But we're gonna get to the last game, man. The game of the week for the NFC East, or at least for a share of it right now. A game that matters. The
Little
game
slice of the pie.
that we've been waiting for is gonna set the pot on fire. Nell's Cowboys versus his hometown Philadelphia Eagles, man.
Time to get our lick back.
Jalen Hurts versus Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has been on an absolute tear as of late, looking great. But everybody likes to say, "Oh, he ain't played nobody." That's the rumor. That's the
Well,
call.
he played a couple people. He just ain't win.
He ain't win. Right. He ain't won against anybody good. He hasn't looked as good as he has been looking against anybody great. But what I can say, man, the NFL football is a repetition sport. And regardless, y'all have gotten a chance to build a good connection between Dak and CD for this game. Dak and Jake Ferguson. Y'all gotten Tony Pollard going a little bit more. Brandon Cooks looks really good as well.
Yeah, keep it coming.
Defense, Deron Bland got cooked a little bit, but then what did he do? Caught another pick
Interception.
made up for it, man. Michael Parsons, he got the podcast ready. You got on the other side, you got the Eagles. Signed Shaquille Leonard. Eagles fans, I can't wait for y'all to see that was not what you think it is. But nonetheless, coming off of a loss, a Super Bowl caliber team. Hopefully Jalen Hurts can, heal up over the week because he's got a big challenge in the Dallas Cowboys now. I'm going to let you take it away. I prefaced it for you perfect. I created a snapshot for the NFC East. I think whoever wins this has a chance to run away with it, maybe. Where you going? I know where you're going, but don't say
Where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
Don't say it.
Them boys getting a revenge.
Come on.
Like, at the end of the day, 14 straight home wins. Last time they lost, I was in the building, of course.
It's okay.
But 14 straight home wins. Offense is balling. That defense coming in is doo-doo, not looking good. Uh, Middle of the field, barbecue chicken. I see 88 having a big day. Uh, Dak, carved up that defense in Philly. I think he's going to do much of the same, but I think we'll do a lot better job in the red zone and converting our goal line opportunities and the touchdowns and, not stepping out of bounds and, knee down right outside the goal line, little things like that held us back in that game. But, I think the Cowboys are the healthier team right now, too, coming into it. They had 9 days off since their last game. Hurts is a little banged up. So, I think we're the healthier team coming in a little more hotter on offense. Obviously, a much better defense, but I think the Eagles, if they come in there and they, dominate and they get back to, the offensive line hasn't been great the last couple of weeks, but still, you got guys on that line that any given week can just bully the opposition. So if they get back to running the football, obviously you talked about Swift not getting enough carries against the 49ers. If they get back to their bread and butter, which is being a run first team, it wouldn't shock me at all if they still won in Dallas. But Dallas knows how big of a game this is, and I think they'll come prepared to play.
Yeah, I
for
think
my mental, and I hope.
Yeah, I mean it's all out there. It's one of them games where it's put up or shut up time for you guys. Are y'all? I prefaced it earlier in the episode, man. Are y'all up there with the Niners and the Eagles? Can this game can prove it all? This game can shut down all of the
This
naysayers.
got a really tough last stretch of the games.
Yeah,
Got the
it's
Dolphins, the Lions, the Bills. So I mean, we're gonna find out a lot about this team. At the end of the day, I still think, especially if you got to go on the road in the playoffs, I still think you got to give the edge to Philly and San Fran. But they're making me feel something. So excited for the stretch run to see what this team is all about.
yeah. I mean, it'll be fun regardless. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to these type of games, I just want to see a good game. I just want to see the Cowboys compete. I want to see the Eagles compete. I mean, if somebody run away with it, at least make it exciting like the Niners did. You know what I'm saying? So, but we know this is a divisional game. It's gonna be a lot riding on this one. And I just don't see the Cowboys not being prepared. I don't think that coming off of the loss that the Eagles just had, in theory, you want to be like, yeah, they're gonna come back with some fire in their heart, but injuries are real. That Jalen Hurts fella, he hurting right now. He showed some things last week on tape, holding the ball really long, not getting it out quick, afraid to just throw the dump off, trying to do a little too much. Running away from Nick Bosa is hard to do. Running away from Micah, damn near impossible. So, I'm going with the Cowboys with you, man. We going 2 for 2 every single game
Okay.
this week, man. Dallas, I got Dallas over the Eagles, man. I want to see the Cowboys change the narrative of the season, man.
What's up? I got a Cowboys jersey for you. Want to throw that on next week?
Ship it to me. Yeah.
All right, bet.
Y'all win, ship it to me. Actually, just ship it to me now. When y'all win, I'll put it on. Is it Dak?
I got Dak. I got Micah. I got CD.
Oh, let me see Micah. Let me hold that
You want
mic.
to see? All right, you got it.
I'll win. I'll put the Michael jersey on.
Say less.
Yes, sir. All right, hey, that's easy as can be, man. So that's gonna round about 3 big ones for the week, man. 3 really interesting games. Storylines are about the same, except for one game has 2 terrible quarterbacks. 2 games have 2 pretty good, or one game has 2, top 5s. And then the last one, Eagles Cowboys got 2 top 10s. So, I mean, we got a little something for everybody this week in the NFL. We got the in-season tournament going on. And now it's time for our NFL pick 'em for the week. Nell is now 9-4. I think last week I say he was 8-4, or I might say he was 8-3. I think that was incorrect. He was 9-3 last week. as I was 8-4. All right, or no, I was 7-5. He was 8-3, 8-4, 9-3. I'm tripping. Nell was 9-3 last week. I was 7-5. I am now 8-5, and Nell is 9-4, coming off the loss because he trusted Walt Steelers, man, over the Cardinals. You would think they could beat the Cardinals, man, but they didn't, and I appreciate them for it. I got a win. I picked our division rival Falcons to beat the Jets. That almost didn't happen, but it did. So now I'm within a game of Nell, and we got another week to pick. So
I'll
I'm
stay
gonna
that way.
nah. I'm go ahead pick. You got some people you want to pick, man. I know. I know you
Uh,
want to ride with the I know you want to ride. Who you like this week? Let me see. Uh, I think we got some good games for you to start out.
Man, these games are
Yeah, no, I mean
trash.
that's why we that's why we focus on the 3 games that we did. Uh, it's
Have I
not
used Houston?
have you used Houston?
Yeah, have I used
No, you
Houston?
have not. You
Have
have
I
not
used
used.
Miami?
You have used Miami.
Fuck. All right, I think we're gonna rock with Houston.
The Texans over the Jets.
Oh, have I do Green Bay?
Oh, don't jump on the ship now.
Nah, yeah. 'Cause
Don't
they
jump on.
definitely would sell. Yeah,
We got a
we
Monday
rocking
night
with
game
Houston.
next week.
We
That's
rocking with Houston.
all right. So you're gonna take
1 o'clock game. Yeah, yeah.
Houston over the Jets, right? All
Yep.
right. Now let me look. Let me see who I can use, man. I got the Jags off my board, Bills, Niners, Vikings, Texans lost, Dolphins, Bucs, Chiefs, Saints. I used the boys already. Chargers. I used Detroit. Dang, you didn't take the Packers, you said?
Niz.
Mm. Ooh, I almost said the Steelers. They play the Patriots, but nah, not doing that. I'm gonna go with the Packers, man. I appreciate that pick. I picked against them. They gave me 2 L's, so it's time they give me a win. I'm going with the Packers over the Giants. My boy Chico might be sick at me for that one, but I mean, logic is logic, you know. So, I think the Packers are hot. The Giants, they need to decide that they're going to tank the rest of the season. They win in too many games for no reason. It just doesn't really make sense to me. Um, so hopefully that can round it out for us, man. I can get back in the win column. I like the Texans, so I'm kind of glad. I mean, I'm kind of upset you picked them to lose because now I got to root against my boy, D'Amico Ryans over there. But yeah, I'm trying to win at any, whatever it takes.
Nah, we got this. Houston got me.
Nah, bro, the Jets. I mean, if they go back to Zach Wilson, they might have a chance, man.
Nah,
Nah,
they can't go. Ain't nobody they can put behind center.
yeah,
That's gonna give them a chance.
they don't look good at all. The Falcons gave them every opportunity. They switched quarterback about 2-3 times, still couldn't get it done. So okay, that's gonna do it for this one. But now I got a closing question for you, man. For the people that follow college football, the college football playoff has been dropped. The list has been dropped. You got Michigan number one, my Michigan Wolverines. Shout out to my boys, right? You got Washington number two, Texas third, and they snuck Alabama in there now. Did the committee get it right?
I mean, they took down the at the time the number one team, right?
Yeah, they did.
It's kind of tough not to put them in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Also had an undefeated team.
I don't know, man. It's Bama at the end of the day. Like
Yeah, it's money. It's money.
they got
Hey,
the they got
what the Deion Sanders said, it ain't no playoff without Georgia or Alabama. And what Shannon Sharp said a couple years ago is the Alabama Invitational. So we know what it is. So, I just wanted to ask that question before we logged off of here now. Did they get it right? I'm not gonna say they got it wrong. I'm not gonna say they got it right. I'm just gonna say that it seems like they're doing a lot to get Jim Harbaugh to NCAA, you know. But from a money perspective, Michigan, Alabama is going to bring in a lot of money. I think I saw something that said that they would have had like a $25 million loss in revenue or something if Bama didn't go into the college football playoff. So
put
You
them
know,
right in the championship, and they gave him the easiest path to the championship too.
you had to say that, huh?
What, you don't agree?
That's gonna do it for us today, man. On 2 for 2. You know that, as always, you know, we got the pod. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, you know, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, Instagram at 2for2pod, Twitter at 2for2pod, TikTok. We got one of those too. You're probably gonna see how I just ended the pod on that soon, because I need a new co-host, man. Get this guy out here. Now, you got anything
I just
productive to
posed the
say?
question.
You got anything productive to say before we end this episode, man?
Nah, not really. Go Cowboys. That's it, man.
Go Cowboys, go Bucs. 2 for 2. We out.